All right, guys, let's talk illness. So first off, I don't get it. So I personally recently overcame a massive, super fun bug that gave me a roller coaster of like high grade fevers and lung infection and lots of fun things in between. But like, and I heard that lots of people nationwide also were sick recently with similar things as to this, which brings me up to a point that I'll address later on in the video. But first. I want to like so in terms of illness itself, I really don't understand how some people can live without ever getting sick, and some people like myself get sick all the time. So it makes zero sense to me. I have spent a lot of time and resources and money and more time researching, investing, and learning things, especially in the holistic health realm of drinking good quality water, of getting in vitamins, getting in good quality food from good quality sources, from getting enough sleep, good quality sleep here and there, to avoid environmental things, to avoid toxins and stress and everything else in between. And yet I'm still getting sick a lot. And so, well, not a lot, but like more than I'd like to. And yet there's people that have, especially people that I've worked with that almost never get sick, and yet they don't exactly live a better lifestyle than myself in terms of overall health and vitality, things of that nature. So this makes zero sense to me. Like people that I've worked with have mentioned that they don't ever get sick. And now but yet like their lifestyle is not exactly ideal in terms of health, fitness, energy, performance, and all that stuff. In fact, most people that I've talked to that never get sick haven't been to a gym in 20 years. They don't really care about eating good quality foods and eating healthy food, so to speak, and yet they don't get sick. And like so, it blows my mind. So first of all, I'm a little envious of people that don't ever get sick, and I'm super curious as to what is your secret to not ever getting sick. It's so getting sick. It's super freaking annoying. It takes you out of the fight for several days and sometimes several weeks depending on the thing, and it's super annoying to deal with. Your attitude sucks. Your mood sucks. You have no energy to work with, and all you want to do is just go to bed and just sleep for the next like week. And that's all you want to do. On top of that, what's even worse for myself and my skinny guys out there is that we tend to lose our appetites. And for guys that can't really that don't have 5 or 10 pounds to lose, we lose weight super fast, quick like that when we don't get in 3,000 calories or more per day, and it's super fun and annoying and awesome. Anyway, so oh my god, and like on top of that too, like so, have you heard of those stories? These urban legends of like of these people that live to be freaking well beyond 100 years old that spent the last 40 years smoking, drinking, doing drugs, and essentially like they did the exact opposite of everything that they were told, and they broke all of the rules, and yet they still lived a better, healthier life compared to other people that are freaking health nuts and spent all of their time and resources and everything going out of their way to ensure that they were nourishing their body with the right resources and all that fun stuff. And those people ended up dying of like heart attacks and like heart disease and like strokes and all that stuff. It kind of makes you wonder a little bit. And like, so for myself, um, the last like 3 or 4 business trips that I've went on to like Arizona, Florida, and stuff like that, almost every single one of those, either by the time I got back or during the last part of it, I got super sick with something related to COVID, if you want to call it that, of like high grade fevers and stuff like that, which is the first big sign for me that that I'm catching some sort of a bug, and it's super fun, especially when it takes like a week or two to recover from that. And yeah, good times with that. And I forgot where I was going with that. Yeah, so like for me. Something I've learned over the years is that, at least for myself, was for someone like me that has a very naturally weak immune system, is that you can take so vitamins and supplementation and all that stuff. It does not necessarily help you to prevent yourself from getting sick. Instead, it helps you overcome things much faster. And to me, that part makes sense because I think that a long time ago, during the era of COVID, when that was like hot and heavy, I think the majority of people that got sick the most, and that had the roughest time with that, were because they were also in a body and lifestyle that was also very toxic. Toxic in this context, meaning that they made a lot of unhealthy based choices, and their body was not at all equipped with the resources that it needed to fight off whatever's going on in the environment, like bug wise and all that stuff. And therefore, it took them not only a long time to heal from that, but it also, they went through a rough patch of symptoms and stuff like that, because their body just couldn't. Their body did not have the resource on hand to handle it. Let alone, on top of that, their body was in a very had lots of garbage in the system, so to speak, and that was not helping them to overcome anything, any type of symptoms or triggers that these bugs were throwing at them, and that's contributed to not a fun time. And so, in my experience, that the better quality choices that you make throughout the days, the weeks, the quarters, the months, and the years, the better equipped you are to handling some type of a bug that you catch, and the faster that you're able to overcome that. For me, that was stocking up on good quality supplementation, with fruits and vegetable supplementation, with immune system stuff, as well as good quality sleep, drinking plenty of water, and trying to eat. So food itself is secondary at that point. Water, sleep, and vitamins is going to take a lot more priority over food, and food in general is at that point, as well as obviously staying away from the goddamn gym. Oh my God, that is a rabbit hole in itself, of all these motherfuckers out there that prioritize the gym as no excuses to get it in there, no matter what, regardless of illness or injury or whatever the case is, mainly because for mental health and that type of thing. Cool, but like, going to the gym when you're sick is one of the dumbest fucking things that you can do, like when you're sick. So let's break this down quick. So honestly, this was not part of the video itself. I decided about this on the spot. And okay, so the gym itself is designed to break your body down to grow stronger from that, correct? Yes or yes? Yes. Okay, thank you. Now, when you are sick, your body is broken down. Yes or yes? Thank you. The answer to that is yes. Your body is broken down. Your body is already fighting something internally. So tell me, if your body is already broken down and fighting something internally, and already lacks the resources that it needs to win the battle, what the fuck is the gym going to do to help you overcome that, or to help you with anything? When the gym itself, the point of that is to expel energy, to grow bigger, to break yourself down, to grow bigger and stronger. But if your body is already broken down already, you're telling me that your priority in life at that point is to break your body even more down, to expel energy that you don't have in the first place, all to say, I did it. Great fucking plan of action right there. Wow, that's a brilliant strategy right there. And God help you with that one. And oh my God. So, and I personally think that the majority of people that do that do it for mental health purposes, to stroke their own ego, and to say, I did it. I've checked it off the box. I did it. Go me. Cool, go you. And now your body is taking the hit for that, of taking even longer to recover, and probably dealing with even worse symptoms than before, because your dumbass decided to break yourself down even further. That requires even more resources. That requires even more resources than what you already did in the first place. That's going to take even longer for you to actually get that in the first place. So congratulations for completely fucking your own body from its ability to recover, all to serve your own fucking ego of no excuses to hit the gym. Good job. Good job with that one. Well done. Proud of you. Sarcasm intended. Not proud of you at all. That's fucking stupid. Anyway, so I made a few of those, and Jesus fucking Christ. Have some fucking context and have some goddamn common sense when it comes to working out, illness, injury, and this thing called, I don't know, spending time with people that won't always be there anymore, instead of the fucking gym that is never going away ever. So just throwing that one out there of those fucking people that make the gym a priority over everything else. Yep, good luck with that. So when everyone around you is no longer there anymore and has already abandoned you because you chose to prioritize the fucking gym for whatever your own selfish needs of mental health and whatever the fuck else you're doing with that. Just stroke your goddamn ego to say I did it, no excuses. Good luck with that. And when everyone else has abandoned you because of that, best of luck with all that. Anyway, so that's my rant and spiel with that fucking gym rant bullshit. Anyway, illness and bugs. Oh my God. That's kind of my conclusion with like I don't know. Actually, to move on to another one of where was I gonna go with that? Oh yeah, so I don't know what's happening. I'm opening up way too much shit. Anyway, so when it comes to okay, so on top of that, next is with illness itself. Have you noticed that like every year they have like new flu shots and new like COVID boosters and new XYZ shots for the new thing? Oh, speaking of that too, something I recently learned about the flu shots. And no, I've never taken the flu. Well, I have when it was mandatory back in the army, but aside from that, no. Something I recently found out with the flu shots is that apparently the flu shot itself is not for the stomach flu. Instead, it's for the chest of the influenza virus. Didn't know that until a few days ago. For even someone such as myself that's into the health and fitness industry, I didn't know that. So the next time that you go for your annual flu shots, thinking it's for the stomach flu, it's actually not. It's for like the influenza virus instead, which are two completely different things. So that's kind of funny to think about that. The fact that it took me 10 years to learn that by accident. Just a few days ago when I was with my parents, having some good talks after dinner, and yeah, that's definitely like so. If you're telling me that was news to me, I can't imagine that the general public probably also makes the same assumption that the annual flu shot is for the stomach flu, when in reality it's not for the stomach flu at all. It's for influenza. So when they still get the flu, bottom line is I think that they should make that a little more like clear that hey, there's two different types of flus out. I mean, there's probably more than that, but like this is not to make this more clear that this flu shot is not for the common stomach flu that most people would label as that. Instead, it's for influenza. When in reality, I don't even know what the fuck influenza is. If I'm being honest, it's some type of a lung respiratory based like virus or whatever. But outside of that, I don't know what the fuck that is. And apparently, it's also common with probably the crowd that makes not so great choices, and they're probably more prone to something of that nature. But like the fact too, but the overall underlying fact is that the flu shot itself is apparently for that and not for the stomach flu. Who knew? Like because it's not really advertised. So unless it is, I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, back to the yearly stuff. So something that I've never understood, and maybe you guys watch this video like know more about this than me, and maybe you do, and perhaps you can comment something in the comments to educate myself and everyone else out there that's watching this video, is that where do all of these new strands of bugs and whatever come from? Like, so every year there's a new strain or a different strain of XYZ bug and virus or whatever, bacteria. My question is, where do they come from? Like, what's created them? Are they just creating themselves, or are they evolving themselves? If that's the case, how are they doing that? You know what I mean? Um, like after you like new strands of like the cold or the stomach flu or like COVID or whatever the case is, where's it coming from? And how was it created? And like to me, it's stuff like that that makes zero sense as to because I personally think that's why there's a need for the annual like shots and whatnot to give yourself like to be prepared for the new strain of it. But at the same time too, if there's a new strand, how are people acquiring this new strain in the first place? Like, where are they acquiring it from to be able to make this vaccine or this shot to counter that? And in order to make that shot, they have to acquire that new strand. So where are they acquiring it from? You know what I mean? Like, if they're acquiring it from somewhere, why can't we stop that from happening? Of like stop that bug or vaccine or not the vaccine, but to stop the bug or to stop the virus or whatever from growing. Why can't we stop it from growing? Why can't we stop it from becoming a new strand? Or is it because we are creating or is it because we are creating the new strain? Is that what's going on? Is that these strands are man-made and that we were manipulating things because of for profit and to be able to issue all more shots and boosters and vaccines and whatever for profit? Is that what's going on? I don't know. You tell me. Like I have yet to get a straight answer as to like where this stuff comes from. And again, and so someone brought up a long time ago that this was actually a really good point in terms of like COVID, right? So it's a well-known fact that COVID has like 7 different boosters, and there's vaccines for it, and this and that, and and the fact that the virus itself was changing and evolving and blah 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 this and that, and that's why I needed 17 different boosters for it. But initially, someone that I worked with made a really good point on this that how do you create a vaccine for something that is allegedly constantly changing? Think about that one for a minute. How do you create a vaccine for something that is allegedly constantly changing and evolving? It kind of makes you wonder. Like, so for me, um, the individuals that got the first initial COVID vaccine and all that stuff back in the day, what exactly was in that vaccine if the virus itself was constantly changing, and that's probably why they need to issue a 1917 fucking booster shots. And on top of that, there's also no guarantee that you would not get the virus. In fact, that what was interesting to me is that the vast majority of people that were getting COVID still were the people that were the people that already had all the fucking boosters and the whole 9 yards to go with it, and yet the people that like myself that never got any of that stuff were sick actually at least amount during that time frame. Isn't that something? Which to me also boiled down into the fact that someone like me that's into holistic health that made good quality choices in terms of like health and vitality, my body itself was better equipped to handle the environment, whereas those that chose the booster and the vaccine routes, in most cases, their bodies were simply unhealthy in the first place, and they were more prone to illness in general over time, and they were essentially using the vaccines and the boosters as a handicap, so to speak, to rely on that to not have to make those other choices and to change their lifestyle to become healthy, strong, fit, and all that stuff. Not all of them, but for the most part, and for this contributed to a large amount of them. And as a result, they end up getting they're more prone, a lot more prone to illness, regardless of what vaccine or booster that they got in the first place. It kind of makes you wonder a little bit, because like to me, like that made the most sense in general of like the healthier your body was, the better lifestyle choices that you make throughout the years and throughout time in general, the better equipped you were to handle environmental changes, and therefore didn't necessarily need any type of like a vaccine or booster to keep yourself strong, fit, and healthy and illness free. And to me, that statement proved to be very accurate, especially during the times of COVID and the shots, when all the shots and the boosters and the vaccines were hot and heavy, that the people that took their health seriously and got their vitamins in, worked out appropriately amount like throughout the week, they were drinking water, they were getting enough sleep, they were staying active, they were making good choices with quality food, and those individuals were um, they seem to be doing better in terms of getting sick less often compared to those that were relying on the boosters and the vaccines and all the shots and all the whole nine yards. So that's, to me, that was super fascinating in itself. Um, I don't know. And then it got even more entertaining when uh when my uncle at a family get together asked, I was like, hey, he asked around the group of like who all got their vaccines, their boosters and whatever. And then he mentioned that he also did, but he also kept getting sick from the same thing. And that's when he started asking the question of like, if I'm getting all these vaccines and these boosters and these shots and I'm still getting sick, why the hell am I taking all this stuff in the first place? And I'm still getting sick from it. I'm just like, yes. So at that point, that's when the shift changed it. That's when the shift of logic changed of like, why am I doing all this crap if I'm still getting sick from anyway? And then that ship sailed. And then like within 6 to 9 months later, the whole mask mandate was lifted and everything else kind of changed. And yeah, and oddly enough, the world didn't fucking die. Instead, we strived on and we got better from it. Even after lifting the mask mandates and the shots and the vaccines and all that stuff, the world didn't fucking die. Like we all didn't die of COVID. Instead, we got better, we got stronger, and we strived on. Crazy how that works out. I know. When you eliminate the sense of fear in the public that we don't just that we didn't just fucking die, fall over and just peel over. Instead, we got better and stronger and healthier and more wise and smarter. Crazy how that works out. I know. It goes deeper than that too, but I don't know. I don't know if YouTube is a good platform to share that on. At least not for myself because, yep, it definitely goes a lot deeper than that. But it's definitely an interesting topic and idea to think about in terms of like what the fuck is happening out there, right? If you know, you know. Let's leave it at that, right? Um, but again, that goes back to like when it comes to new strands of things. My question is, where are these strands coming from? And like how are they like evolving? How are they creating it? Are they just creating themselves? And if that's the case, like where were they 10 years ago if they're just creating new stuff? Where did they magically no, where did they magically just appear out of nowhere and just some like to me like it's not just magic and fairy tales and science and evolution and God created XYZ. Like these viruses didn't just fucking pop out of nowhere to say hello, and and they magically just started. Not only did they just come out of nowhere, and now they're starting to evolve by themselves. Like to me, like I don't believe that. I think that something's going on, and that something that nobody knows about except the very few. And I don't know, but to me, it's very interesting that these things just come out of nowhere and they keep like changing every year with new strands. And then we have to make shots and vaccines for these strands. But at the same time, a vaccine itself requires a sample of the strand in the first place. So my question is, where the fuck are they getting the strand from in order to Yep. So lots of questions, and not a whole lot of legit logical answers to answer these questions with. And welcome to America and Western culture and the 21st century as we live of agendas and manipulation and the matrix, so to speak, and lots of good stuff with that. Oh my God, just like I don't know, just between like illness and COVID and boosters and like all kinds of viruses and strands out there and annual shots in the medical industry and prescription medications and Western medicine that's designed to treat symptoms and never actually touch the root cause of the problem with allopathic medication, which then goes into which the other side of that is functional functional based medicines and this is all this stuff is all the more reason why I'm grateful for investing into myself to learn the truth, first of all, of how holistic health works from a zoomed out standpoint, and especially through Paul Chek's work, and then to just go down some fun rabbit holes with that and with life in general. And it really makes you kind of question things. Well, it makes you question everything for that part. Like everything that we've been taught, like in school and growing up by our parents and everything else. But again, they were also taught the same things, and they're just passing down their knowledge and wisdom to us. So I don't blame them. I blame the systems and the organizations and the methods that we've been conditioned by for so many years. And it's not until we start questioning things when things don't add up, which is something that I mentioned in a previous video on holistic health, that it wasn't until for me, things just were not making sense and adding up at all. And so I started researching, investing in myself to learn holistic health. And that's when the freaking Pandora's box opened up. And when I started learning all kinds of gnarly things about holistic health, and that I was essentially lied to for so long from the medical industry itself of what's good and bad for you. And then from there I did the exact opposite of what I was told not to do. And I could not be like have lived correction. I had crazy more energy, vitality, I could think clearly. Everything was just beyond awesome when I started doing the exact opposite of what I was told not to do. Crazy how that works out. You start questioning everything and start implementing things based off of logic and reasoning and instead of what the mass tells you and what the media and what the experts have to say. And that's honestly how like people like Edison and Galileo and like all of the inventors and creators of our time, I want to say essentially like all of like the inventors and creators that like were able to discover and discover things like discover space and calculus and to invent calculus and to discover electricity and which architecture and engineering and all that stuff. Like, do you think those guys follow the norm and just believed everything that they were told? No, like they were considered the outcast and use their mind and creativity and imagination to discover things like space, astronomy, and some of the deepest levels of math, science, physics, and chemistry. And they were the founders of that stuff to what we have today as like chemistry, physics, architecture, science, astronomy, and all of those various topics that that fascinate the hell out of me. And most of those topics I don't even understand even on a basic level. And I'm grateful for people that do, but the fact that these people, these freaking geniuses, a long time ago just used logic, creativity, and imagination to figure this shit out on their own, like way ahead of their time, and did not believe in the common norms and the common crap that they were being fed. And some of these guys were literally like they were freaking looked at as imposters and outcasts and witches and all that stuff because that's how freaking like that's how like brainwashed we were during those times and during that environment. And fast forward to today's environment, it's not any different. It's the same freaking thing. With a different disguise and a different outfit. Like today, if you start questioning the government and start questioning the news and everything else and start talking about the Matrix, all of a sudden people look at you like you're crazy and have a tinfoil hat on. When in reality it's the same fucking thing back in the day of being accused of a witch and being accused of like being a psychopath because you're trying to discover astronomy and that the world isn't flat and that how the sun works and like how there's 9 planets in the galaxy and that they all rotate around the sun versus everything else and like the importance of like gravity and of the sun and the moon and all that stuff and how that literally has helped to create life. But if those guys weren't around, if those guys didn't stand for what they believed in, what they were looking for, like we wouldn't have that knowledge today at all. So there's that. And that's literally like how the tale of Robin Hood was like created in the first place was a guy that was an outcast and he went against like the norm and he was kicked out of his tribe. And turns out he was right. Well, I don't know the story behind it, but like it's the concept in general of essentially like as Albert Einstein once said that great spirits have always countered violent opposition from mediocre minds. And that's 100% accurate. Well, when you're onto something, when you go against the grain and go against the norm, things that people that the average minds don't like, or that it just seems crazy, and that you're probably in most cases you're probably onto something, but the average minds and whatever don't agree with that, and because you're going against everything that they've been taught because they've never actually taken the time to think logically and to assess things for themselves, and then they're just blindly following the crowd of what they're being told by the experts. And those that go against it, they're viewed as the outcast, and that's where all the haters and the trolls come out and say that you're fucking stupid, blah blah blah, X Y Z. And those are the people that shine. Um, whether it's shine through hard work, whether it's shine through their voice, through social media outlets, whatever the case is. And yet over time, those people are the ones that make the history books as putting their foot down to express their voice and change life for the greater good as we know it. Isn't that something? Like our time right now, that's you could say one person that means that fits that bill would be Alex Hormozy and Alex and Lily Hormozy where they're going completely against the fucking grain. And if you notice that if you notice that majority of the comments and the people that are hating on them are mediocre and average minds. Same thing with Elon Musk and Tesla and SpaceX, and the majority of the people that are fucking hating and fucking bashing the stuff are from mediocre and average minds that refuse to actually do anything worthwhile themselves. And so instead, they choose to spend their time hating on other people that are actually improving the world for the greater good. And every fucking time that I support Elon in the comments, there's some dipshit out there that is, what did Elon ever do to fucking do anything? And that person, I don't respond to that because they're just fishing and looking for and just looking for something to fucking argue with, and I don't waste my time with that. So anytime I see that comment of what did Elon do to fucking anything or whatever, I ignore it because they're fishing and they're looking for a fucking argument and to let their fucking ignorance and stupidity shine on the surface. And I'm not wasting my time fucking arguing with that shit. I have better things to do. I'm growing. I'm evolving. I am accomplishing my vision. I don't have time to fuck. I don't have time to fucking argue with fucking trolls and haters all day. Like, so not. I'm not even sorry. So I'm not sorry in a little bit. I have zero sympathy for fucking haters and trolls that want to waste their time fucking arguing about stupid shit all day. So I have things to do. So there's that. Going back to what I was trying to say in the first place is that the people that question the fucking norm, that go against the grain and use logic and creativity and just use their inner genius part of their brain to just to think and to solve problems and to just create things that to help the world become a better place for the greater good, initially they get fucking laughed at and scoffed at and criticized and everything else in between. And over time, people start to grow on them and be like, oh, this guy was actually right the whole time, and that's how they blow up super quick and they're able to acquire some resources and life is good. And for the haters and trolls that continue to play the victim card and say life isn't fair, this person fucking is a scam and blah blah blah. No, motherfucker, you're the scam for being a fucking worthless piece of shit and choosing to play the victim card and hate on others instead of actually trying to take the time to improve yourself. You're the fucking scam. So good luck with that mentality and enjoy a life of mediocrity and suffering while everyone else is growing, evolving, thriving on, and enjoying life. So good luck with that one. It's all the more reason why I don't fucking waste my time with trolls and haters because they're playing the victim fucking card and they're literally going out of their way to express their insecurities and their own self and their own fucking bullshit onto you in efforts to and then anytime that you comment on that to argue with them, all you're doing is dragging yourself down into their level of toxicity, and it's a waste of fucking time. Instead, ignore the comments if you have to. Fucking start blocking people. Start blocking people if you have to, and keep surrounding yourself with the right groups, with the right environments that are going to set you up for success while you continue to strive on and support others that are also like-minded, and you grow together as one. And the haters and the trolls are left in the fucking dust to keep doing their fucking thing of whatever the fuck they do, and life moves on. So that's how that works. Hey, if you want to stand for something, if you want to make a difference, express your voice, stand clear on your values of what you believe in, ignore the fucking trolls, ignore the fucking haters, and keep fighting for what you believe in and strive on. That's my advice to you. But yeah, in terms of illness and strands and why some people get sick and some people don't, I don't fucking know. I have chalked it up to two things. Oh yeah, that's right. I was gonna mention that toward later on in the video, and here we are now. I almost forgot about that till now. So when it comes to illness and those that get sick and those that don't, I chalked it up to two things, and that's stress as well as genetics. I think that some people just have a better ability to handle stress. So not necessarily handle stress, but they just don't let things bother them as much as other people do. So for me, I take lots of things personally, and things bother me a lot because of things that I think are fucking stupid. And so for me, I care too much, and it stresses me out when things don't make any fucking sense and that are also out of my control. And that stresses me out because I care too much. I want to see things grow and thrive and evolve. And when they don't, because they have broken systems, that gets me annoyed and upset, and it stresses me out because and I see things, but there's nothing that's outside my control, and it stresses me out. And other people, they just don't let that bother them. And I wish I'm taking notes from that of like how to do that. And so between low stress levels and just genetics itself, that's my conclusion. That's how people don't get sick. Because on top of that too, there was a period of time like a year ago when I did not take any supplementation at all for like 2 months, and my environment didn't really change. But what changed is that, and like I noticed that I did not get sick at all or any type of symptoms at all for that time period. And what I noticed is that my stress levels were super low, and I just went with the flow of things. And that's why I now conclude that for especially for those that barely ever get sick, I've noticed that they simply don't let things bother them and that their stress levels are super low compared to others. And between that and genetics, that's my conclusion as to why they're able to never get sick. Because I mean, it makes sense to me. Like, essentially, the more stressed out you are in general, the more everything else is affected by that negatively over time. Like all like all health markers in general are generally go up, like but in a bad way when you were stressed out. And the issue with that is when you're stressed out for extended periods of time, known as chronic stress, that's when things start to affect your overall health, and like blood pressure, um, cholesterol levels, like hormone levels, and then from there, and then on a more surface level, like your attitude, your mood, um, energy levels, stuff like that. On a more surface level, that's when those things start to get affected, and then from there, symptoms like illnesses and stuff like that is when that starts to come out when you start having that lifestyle um more frequently, and that's when things start to get bad. And well, not bad, but like you'll start to notice symptoms of those things, symptoms of like colds and fevers and like just whatever symptoms that your body normally likes to express when essentially like the higher your stress levels are, and like the longer they are elevated like that. And honestly, like from a in the context of stress, that's all illness really is at the end of the day too, is just it's your body under excessive amounts of stress, right? And that's really what illness is from like that context of it, is that you're just under a lot more stress than usual, and your body is in fucking is fighting in overdrive. And now you factor in not having the resources that it needs to just kind of to put the fire out and to pour water on it. And so you have high levels of stress and low amounts of resources to handle that. That's when like symptoms start to occur, and they remain there until your body gets the resources it needs to put that fire out. And if you continue living a lifestyle of alcohol, pop, fast food, not getting enough sleep, not drinking any water at all, you once you remove the basics of vitality from your body while adding in more stress, that's how things like illness and stuff occur a lot, followed by the mental side of it of depression and stuff like that. And then my personal favorite from there is when someone lacks motivation from depression, they reach out on forums and social media to say, "How do I get motivated to go to the gym?" And the response to that is, "Stay disciplined, bro." Yes, so a guy that lacks food, water, sleep, and all the resources that he needs for his body to grow, who's already super stressed out as it is from life. So stress levels are high, resources are low, and then energy levels are low. He's now suffering with depression, mental health issues, and the common response he gets from Facebook forums and everything else is stay disciplined and go to the gym. Have discipline, bro. That's how fucking stupid that statement is. Like even more so. Like when you literally have like so many things that are working against you, and the default response is to stay disciplined, to force yourself to do things that your body doesn't even have to recover from on board in the first place. Okay, so to go even deeper with this, like, so here's your body that's suffering from lack of everything, and now you lack the energy to do anything because you don't have any resources on demand to fucking have energy in the first place. And then hormone wise, body wise, brain wise, neurology wise, your body is not triggering endorphins and adrenaline to go move and work out because you don't have the resource on the fucking man in the first place for your body to want to go and do that and work out because again, working out requires energy and breaks your body down. If your body is already broken down from lots and lots of stress, your body does not want to go to the gym because that is going to deplete your body even more of resources that it doesn't already have on disposal. But yet, stay disciplined to force yourself to go to the gym because the internet said so, because discipline. And then, so now you are depleting even more energy that you didn't already have in the first place in a body that's already stressed out, and now you just added even more stress to that body with resources that you don't have, all because discipline. And that's all the more reason why I fucking hate that discipline word in that context of stay disciplined to go work out. You gotta stay disciplined, bro. Motivation is for fucking garbage and it's for bitches. Stay disciplined. All the more reason why I fucking hate that default response of discipline, because people don't have a fucking clue as to any of that shit. But they're literally just following the norm of what everyone else has already said to be part of the cool kids club that say stay disciplined because that's what everyone else is doing, and hoorah, and all that other stupid shit, without actually taking the time to logically think about where they are and what they actually need to grow logically from where they are, which a good first step to that is going to be this thing called like good quality food, drinking some fucking water, some sleep, and then from there you now have some mental clarity and focus to actually do something with. And now that you've given your body some resources it needs to wake up and to actually function, and now from there we can actually think and say, what is it that I want to accomplish in 3 months or 6 months or 9 months from now, to be able to look at myself in the mirror and be proud of what I see. Boom. And now we can start to get into things like working out and going from there after we've already relieved stress and can't forget about this part, and giving our body the resources it needs to thrive. So get rid of stress while giving our body the resources it needs to thrive. Then we are now in a position to handle the workouts. That's how that works from a logical point of view. Crazy, I know. But again, the amount of dipshits out there that say it from a default response, discipline, bro. And this is coming from guys that are also depressed, burnt out, and defeated, eat like shit, wake up miserable, exhausted, and defeated because they are having the same fucking problems. And those same motherfuckers are preaching the advice, discipline. Great advice. Yep, so that's kind of my spiel with that one. Oh my God. So I think that's gonna wrap things up with this video. Between like people that get sick versus people that don't, I'm chalking that up to stress as well as genetics. So genetic wise, like I'm so envious of people that have good genetics to avoid getting sick a lot. I envy you, like for real. On top of, I also envy those that have low stress levels that just simply don't let things bother them. I envy you. I want to freaking take notes from you guys if I do that, because I take things personally. I care too much, and that's why I think I just let everything fucking bother me, because I just care too much, and therefore I want to fucking take some notes here as to what you guys are doing to have that, and to allow yourself to just relax more. Because one of my biggest issues, if you can't already notice with these videos, is my inability to relax. So one thing that I've been working on is to relax, and that's also the purpose of these podcast videos, is that it's helped me to slow down and to relax, to give a more clear speech and a more clear message without using subtitles. Because if you look at my previous videos long before I made this podcast, my speech was so goddamn fast, you couldn't even understand what I was saying without the subtitles. And so again, part of the purpose of this podcast for myself is to help me slow down, to speak more clearly, get my message out there that you guys can actually fucking understand without, especially without the need for subtitles. So go be with that one. Anyway, so illness, genetics, and stress, followed by the fucking strands of stuff that comes out every year. Where does it come from? I don't know. Like you tell me. Um, and then there's like the whole illness itself, and that, in my experience, it's not about preventing illness, it's about overcoming it, on top of having a body and lifestyle that makes good choices year round, that equips yourself with the resources that you need to fight off things as they come, such as low stress levels, vitamins, endorphins are flowing, and energy is flowing, and good things are flowing inside, and that's giving you the resource that you need to battle, to go to battle with these bugs, to be able to recover from them very quickly. And that's, in my experience, a major contribution as to how some people get sick, but they're able to overcome that very quickly, versus those that get sick and stay sick for a long time despite being on XYZ prescription medications. And that's also why I think lots of people got sick from COVID, and a lot sicker than needed to, because their body and lifestyle was not in a position to be able to fight things off without some serious help, and without some serious reinforcements to go with that, which take time to build up the system as well. So there's that part of it too. Now, in terms of like getting old sucks, I think that we need to reframe that to instead say unhealthy choices are what suck, because they build up over time, and they make everything take way longer to overcome, whether it's an injury, soreness, or, in this context of this video, illness. That the more that we grow in age, the more maintenance is required for us to maintain a strong, healthy mind and body. And when we don't, those things are going to show up in the form of injury as well as illness, when we don't have the resources on demand to heal and recover from that relatively quickly. And that's where that's going to show up. Whereas, in my experience, those that blame age as the problem for everything, I think that's a statement coming from ignorance, from those that have not educated themselves enough to maintain their bodies and to take care of themselves enough to be strong, fit, healthy, and vital. And I think the majority of people that say that fell apart 20 years ago, and have made lots of unhealthy choices in the last years, 5 or 10 years, and they now pay for it today with taking for fucking ever to overcome an illness or injury while living on prescription medications for eternity to treat XYZ symptom or blood marker, whatever panels, and kind of go from there. Anyway, that's a rabbit hole in itself, but just my experience on life, which, oh my God, hold on. All the more reason why I preach the statement of pay the farmer now or the doctor 100 times more later. Enough said with that. So between illness and strands of things, and people that get sick, and people that don't, follow that going down some fun rabbit holes with the matrix and medical industry and agendas. And then there's some stuff out there that I forgot what I even talked about for that like 10-minute spiel of something to do with, I think, like the prioritizing the gym, and the no excuses clubs. I went down a rant with that, which is kind of fun. And then there was the oh yeah, the whole disciplined fucking group mentality that drives me fucking nuts as well. And man, here we are now. So, and that's a wrap for this video. Hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and that this is my first video I was able to make in about 4 videos that I'm now at probably closer to 90% with my cup filled, compared to the last couple that I made where they were like 50 at best. But I couldn't do much physical activity, so that's why I chose to make those videos. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. Until next time, JB out.